The Joe Rogan Experience.
When you see combat sports today and you see like the landscape of boxing, I feel personally that this is an amazing time. I mean, I feel like the heavyweight division has never been more exciting and more turbulent because there's so many great fighters now. To have Andrew Ruiz jump out of nowhere and knock out Anthony Joshua, I think was a godsend for the sport. Because all of a sudden you see, like, look at this chubby Mexican just fucked up this dude who looks like a god. Like, this is crazy. Like, and this is, for the Mexican community, it's huge, having their first Mexican heavyweight champion. But it's also like, wow, this is a crazy division. Look, you got the Deontay just knocks the fuck out of Luis Ortiz with that one punch to the forehead. You're like, what the fuck? You got the rematch with Tyson Fury's coming up in 2 weeks.
Right.
Not even, right? Less than 2 weeks.
22nd.
Oh, my goodness.
Now, what you're talking about earlier is exemplified in what happened after the Ruiz fight, where you see, like you say, a chubby guy. That's fair. This guy's chubby.
Yeah.
But he's a fucking fighter.
Oh, my God.
He's a heavyweight for real.
His hand speed's tremendous.
And if you think just because he's chubby, you can take a knock at the guy, especially after he won the title, as though he won the lottery or he won a scratch off, and this shit just happens. It doesn't. It reminded people of what the heavyweight division is. One punch can change the fight is a real thing.
It is a real thing. He fucked up, though, in that rematch. That rematch was a disaster. He was so clearly unprepared. When he weighed 280, I was like, oh my God.
And what was the rumors like? And I fell into them too. Like, everybody's talking about how he was getting thinner, and we were debating.
It was one
like,
Instagram picture. He did what chubby girls do. He held that camera up and he did one of these things.
He
got a good angle.
us.
He catfished us. Yeah. Well, you know, he wasn't training with his trainer, and he was partying a lot. You know, and I knew he was partying a lot. I heard from people that knew him. They're like, man, I don't know.
I heard whispers of that and didn't believe it. I was like, no fucking way. Not that guy.
I believed it. You know why I believed it? Because it's so hard not to. All of a sudden, you're the fucking man out of nowhere. And maybe he was convinced that he could do it again. You know, he's hitting the pads. It looked pretty good. Hitting the bag looked pretty good. It's like, I'll fuck that guy up again. But Anthony Joshua had a totally different game plan this time. And to see Anthony Joshua stick and move like that was interesting. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It's a cliche, but again, losing might have been the best thing that ever happened to him.
I don't know about that. You know, I mean, I think it's great that he got his title back, but I felt like one thing that happened in that fight that disturbed me was, even though Ruiz came in out of shape and clearly didn't look like he was prepared correctly, Joshua did never really enforce his will on him. He never really had a moment where he's beating the fuck out of him, where it's like, you know, I trained hard for this fight. I'm going to dominate you now. Now I'm going to take you out the way you took me out. There was none of that. It was boxing. Just stick and move. Make sure you get the decision. That is in stark contrast to the way Deontay finishes fights.
Which is why that matchup is so intriguing, which is why no matter what happens between the two of them, hopefully they remain undefeated for their own sakes and can make that unification fight. I saw his commitment to discipline, Joshua, I'm talking about, as a good thing.
Oh, it's definitely a good thing because he won the title back. But when you make the argument who's the best heavyweight in the world, if you have to look at it on paper, I don't think it's him right now. I think it's Tyson Fury or Deontay Wilder, depending on what happens on the 22nd. I lean towards Deontay because he can close the show at any moment. That 12th round, I was in bed and I was watching the fight and I went, oh shit! I popped up. Oh shit! He knocked him out. And then whoop! Tyson Fury rises. I'm like, what the fuck? He rises. He gets through the barrage. And then he wins the remainder of the round. I'm like, this is insane. And he even rocked Deontay at one point in time. I'm like, this is an insane fight. And then it was a draw. And I don't think on paper it's really a draw. I think that's horseshit. I think on paper Tyson Fury won more rounds. But I'm not upset with the draw. Because the way Deontay knocked him down and then knocked him down, the way he knocked him down the 12th round should almost count for like 3 points. I mean, it was so crazy.
Just about any, and I get, I'm this is not a criticism of Jack Reese. Like, the guy did get up, so you can't say he, did something wrong, but most referees of that would have just waved it off.
Most
Like,
referees,
there's no way
yes.
this guy's
His
getting
arms
up.
were flat. He was laying on his back. It looked like he was in another dimension.
Can you think of any other fight in the countless fights that you've covered where the main highlight of the fight is just a guy getting up?
Crazy. Crazy. Yeah, crazy. Well, that punch, too. The right hand and the left hook behind it, and then him walking off like this. And he thought he had him. He thought it was over.
Yep.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Tyson Fury's something special, man, but so's Deontay.
And so's Joshua. Like, I think
Yes.
all three of those guys, they're so uniquely different that I can't say, I mean, the argument about who's best can rage for days. But I don't know that for sure this guy beats that guy or that guy beats the other guy, or if this guy beats that guy, then that guy.
You don't.
You won't know until they face each other. And what I'm saying is, even if Deontay were to lose to Tyson Fury, I still want to see Joshua Wilder more than
100%. 100%.
You know what I mean?
That is the fight I want to see. That is the fight I want to see. Well, I definitely, the rematch is the first fight I want to see. The next fight I want to see, regardless of the outcome, is I want to see, well, unless Tyson Fury KOs Wilder. If Tyson Fury KOs Wilder and is like, Anthony Joshua, you dosa. If he gets on the mic and starts talking that kind of shit, then I want to see that fight. But if my dream matchup right now is the rematch. That's the dream matchup. The dream matchup is the 22nd.
Yeah.
I am so fucking pumped for that rematch. Whoo, I'm not doing jack shit. I'm taking the night off. I'm sitting right in front of the fucking TV, sweaty palms.
Now, see, for you to say that about a boxing match, that's a huge thing.
I love boxing, though. I do. I mean, I call combat sports. I call MMA, but I do love boxing.